The software, the learning management system, allows me to log in as a teacher. So I can log in saying that, this is my username, this is my password, and because I am a faculty in the college and I have such privileges, I would be able to go into the teacher mode. Now here I can go hierarchically again, going and saying that, I'm going to be teaching a subject of physiology, etc. Or I can directly be going to a particular topic, like the same topic of say pyramidal tract. If I were to have pulled out, now I am going as a teacher to teach in my class. You see the same lesson plan, and of course it gives you flexibility to add your own slides into this, or maybe get to choose which particular slides you would want to use. And now your name and your college comes here, so it shows that you are the person who is going to be delivering this in your class, and I can keep going ahead. So if I go next, it starts with the objectives. So now you can tell students, this class will be teaching you about the origin, course, termination and functions of the pyramidal tracts, the extrapyramidal tracts, and I'll be taking you through some of the applied aspects. So it gives you standardized templates to actually go and teach these modules in class. And if I am now interested in say teaching about the course of the pyramidal tract, the same animation that is there in the lesson plan comes up and allows you to teach. Now what we've also done is, from the hardware angle, we've interfaced the system, the learning management system and the lesson plans with an interactive whiteboard. So as a teacher, you can actually pause the animation, you can write over the animation on an interactive whiteboard. You can save your handwritten annotated diagrams into the system, and you can actually make it available later as part of your courseware. Now as we go ahead, I can actually take my students in the class into each aspect of this particular lesson and take you step by step. Now either I could have gone next slide here, or I could have directly jumped here. So if I say I want it in the medulla, it will actually directly jump and show me how the tracks form the pyramid in the medulla.
Infraspinous fossa that gives origin to infraspinatus. So supraspinous fossa gives origin to supraspinatus. Infraspinous fossa, how many processes it has got? For the origin of teres major. Trapezius comes like this. Down will be the latissimus dorsi. This area we call it as the auscultation triangle.
Now if a student of mine were to have asked a question, I could have added a bookmark at this point with a query of what was asked and saved it. So I have all my bookmarks that I am actually going to analyze and then answer those at a later date maybe. Similarly, we also have say interactive diagrams like this one. If you see, you have the human body from abdomen, for example, that I am going layer by layer. So every diagram that we have is in layers. So now I can be dissecting out those layers and taking you to a certain part, showing you relationships of this layer with this. I also have interactive things which are available to me. So as I finish my lecture on say the TCA cycle, I can take or give students these exercises to do. So here it allows the student to learn at his own pace, or the teacher to be teaching this. So I can go over a particular reaction and show the details of that reaction, or I can conduct a quiz. Now here I am supposed to actually take a particular thing, drag it and drop it over a particular place, and then submit my answer to see if I am done right. So every time I do right or I do wrong, now this I can actually allow students to do on their own, or in my class over an interactive whiteboard I can use a touch screen to drag and drop it and show to my class and then take them interactively through as well. This way, after every lesson you can have interactivity that you can actually engage the class with. Now the question banks that I already spoke about are available for you to be setting your own question papers and giving it to the class to do. So in a teacher mode, you would have all the graphics, animations, lesson plans, questions available to you as a faculty member to actually engage the students in your own class using an electronic whiteboard as part of an e-class, or you can use this and teach virtually in a virtual class, or of course give it to the students as e-library material in their digital libraries. Also, we are developing certain simulated models. For example, this one allows students to learn or teachers to teach how to auscultate a person. These are the auscultatory points from the front, from the back, from the two sides. And if I want to know, say, what bony markings are there for these points, I will be able to see the bony skeleton. I can go inside and look at what lung markings are associated with this. For example, this one, if I'm auscultating, I'm listening to sounds which are caused due to, say, a pathology in the lower part of the upper lobe or the upper part of the middle lobe. And similarly, I can go into the physiology and the pathology. So from the front, say, let me auscultate this particular patient. Now what you would appreciate is the vesicular breathing sounds in a normal case, whereas if I go to a case of severe asthma, for example, and now I auscultate, you'll be able to appreciate the the V's that you can hear on the expiration. Similar to this, there are models for, say, blood pressure. So once you go through the lesson, you can actually go and practice. So if I were to hear pump up, stop, and start listening, at a certain point, I will be able to now hear the sounds start, muffle, and end. Now I am supposed to actually note down when I have heard the sound start, when did they muffle, and when did they stop, and put it as a systolic and a diastolic blood pressure. What the computer does is it gives a random blood pressure to this particular patient and then allows you to actually check yourself against what the computer has already put. So it allows someone to actually test. Suppose you're teaching nurses and you give them about 20 different times to do this, and the computer knows what reading it is giving, and the nurses have to actually put in that reading and it sees if it is correct or not. You can take it actually a bit further. You can also say that for this case, this is a 70-year-old smoker. Is it normal? Now this case is a 32-year-old athlete. Is the same BP normal or not? So you can actually take it forward in time. So these kind of simulations are also available as part of the teaching process. So it's part of the teacher mode or part of the learner self-learning assessment.